please don't ask why no one quite knows the reason.
It could be his head wasn't screwed on his right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight.
But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's.
Staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm-lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every who beneath was busy hanging a mistletoe wreath.
And they're hanging their stockings.
He snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming.
Well, I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming.
For tomorrow he knew.
All the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys and then...
Oh, the noise.
The noise!
That's the one thing he hated.
The noise!
Then the Who young and old would sit down to a feast.
And they'd feast.
And they'd feast and they'd feast.
They would feast on Who pudding and red Who roast beef.
Which was something the Grinch could not stand in the least.
And then they'd do something he'd like least of all.
Every Who down in Whoville, the tall
And the small
would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing.
They'd stand hand in hand.
And the Who's would start singing. They'd sing. And they'd sing.
And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas thing,
I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop Christmas from coming. But how?
Then he got an idea.
An awful idea.
The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do.
He made a quick step with a hat and a coat.
Oh, what a great Grinchy trick. With his coat and his hat, I look just like St. Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer is scarce, there were none to be found. Did that stop the Grinch?
No, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead.
So he called his dog Max, and he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on top of his head. Then he loaded some bags.
And some old empty sacks. And he hitched up old Max.
Giddy up!
And the sleigh started down toward the home where the Who's lay asleep in their town.
all their windows were dark, quiet, snow filled the air.
All the Who's would dream sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square,
This is stop number 1!
He climbed to the roof with a bag in his fist.
then he slid down the chimney a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it,
And so could the Grinch.
He got stuck only once, for a moment or two.
Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where tiny blue stockings all hung in a row.
These stockings are the first things to go.
He slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant.
around the whole room he took every present.
Shotguns and bicycles.
Roller skates,
Drums,
checkerboard,
tricycles,
Popcorn.
and clubs. And the Grinch raised him with some
then he slunk to the icebox.
He took the Who's beef.
He took the Who pudding.
He took the roast beef.
He cleaned out that icebox, quick as a flash.
Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash.
And now, I will stop up the tree.
And the Grinch grabbed the tree and started to shove.
He heard a little sound like the flew of a dove. He turned around fast and saw a small Who.
Little Cindy Lou Who.
Who was not more than 2.
The Grinch had been caught by his tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cold cup of water.
Why is Santa Claus white? Why are you taking our Christmas tree white?
But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought of the line.
He thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little tot? There's a light on this tree that won't light on the side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here.
Then he patted her hand and got her a drink and sent her to bed.
And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuck the tree up.
The last thing he took was a log to their fire.
Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar.
On the walls he left nothing but some hooks and some wire.
And the one speck of food that he left in the house was one that was even too small for a mouse.
Then he did the same to the other Who's houses.
Leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouths.
It was a quarter past dawn.
All the Who's still abed,
All the Who was still asleep.
When he packed up his sled.
packed it up with their presents.
Up the side Mount Crumpet.
He rode with the load to the tip top to dump it.
Pooh, pooh to the Who's. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open for a minute or two, and then every Who down in Whoville will cry, Pooh. Well, that is a sound that I simply must hear.
So he paused. Then the Grinch put his hand to his ear and he did hear a sound rising over the snow.
It started in low. cold in the snow.
Well, how could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags.
And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore.
Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Well, maybe Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
And what happened then?
Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
He brought back the toys.
And the food